The other point I wanted to make, because gender has been brought up, and I think something we need to talk about moving forward is boys in particular in our educational system, who at the moment, if you look at all the statistics, fall behind drastically. And I alluded to this earlier on in the year when when we did the suicide prevention strategy, because as you know, I campaign against to raise awareness of male suicide in particular. And the facts don't lie. You know, many children these grow up. Only 25% of teachers in schools are men, and it's 15% in primary school. Boys are 3 times more likely to be expelled and 35% less likely to go to university than their female counterparts. Now, we can't keep getting away from this. We need to eventually address this as a society and start talking about why this happens. And I think in the current climate, where we've got protests happening around the world in the name of Black Lives Matter, you know, which this does affect the Black community, we need to be talking about these and asking these fundamentally hard questions. Why is it that boys are not doing as well in education as their female counterparts? And I know that might be difficult for some people on the council to talk about, but I think we do need to address it. Thank you, Chair.
Lord Mayor, Deputy Lord Mayor, we don't just need to smash the stigma about men talking about their issues, we also need to smash the stigma about talking about men's issues. Full stop. There is absolutely no point in asking men to come out and open up about their feelings if we live in a society that will refuse to listen to them or even acknowledge that they can be victims. For far too long, our boys and young men, particularly from working class backgrounds, whether black or white, have systematically been discriminated against by academic institutions that have progressively been hijacked by political dogma and misandrous ideologies known as intersectionality. This, for generations, has fueled a lot of anger and bitterness, which I believe has directly contributed to the last decade of political decline. You can see this everywhere, from the rise of gangs and knife crime to the rise of populism on both the left and the right. This issue has been staring us in the face for so long, yet so many of us have chosen to ignore it, stepping over it like homeless people in the street, who ironically happen to mostly be men. Now, Lord Mayor, this is not about men, girls versus boys. I fully support women's emancipation, but you do not help women in female empowerment by ignoring men. These men are your brothers, they are your sons, they are your friends, and they deserve the dignity to be heard. Lord Mayor, it's time we put identity politics where it belongs in the bin, to start putting people into boxes, start treating people as people. Only then will you live in a truly plural society, and you cannot call yourself an egalitarian until we all start to acknowledge that boys have issues too. Thank you, Lord Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you. I call upon Councillor Alex Yip to second.